Teach Us, Part 5. The Queen set an example of selfless duty, which, with God's help and your counsels, I am resolved faithfully to follow. King Charles III. It is true that the king spoke in front of 900 MPs and peers that day, but we know that the House of Commons is made of 650 seats and the House of Lords 756 seats. Therefore, when talking about the councils, it is true that some MPs can privately share a piece of advice with him, but the councils referred to here are the laws, bylaws, the constitution, bills and actions taken in a democratic manner. The idea is that the king will not defeat or undermine those resolutions that are in line with democracy. Dear friends, do you know what caused Israel to be divided into two kingdoms, north and south? It was an issue of advice. Which advice do you listen to? Here is the greatest challenge in decision making. 1 Kings chapter 12 talks about King Solomon was dead and Rehoboam, his son, took over the throne. It appears that during Solomon's reign, he has put in place a high amount to pay for tax in order to build his famous and very sumptuous palace. Even after building the palace, the tax remained high. The people put in place a delegation that has to meet the king, King Rehoboam, and plead that he lightens the yoke. The king consulted two types of people. 1 Kings chapter 12. We can see that the elders asked him to speak good words to the people. Verse 8, he rejected the advice and consulted the young man. And those young men in verse 11 says, whereas my father put a heavy, that's the way he was supposed to speak, put a heavy yoke on you, I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scourges. That's how things go in life. Some people will give you good advice and other bad ones. We are always confronted to that. Even our children, they have to face two types of advice, for good or evil. Have you prepared them to make the good choice? The divine thoughts in the passage reveals to us that people make choice based on their personality. A wicked person will easily choose a bad advice, whereas a person that likes peace will generally choose the good advice. Let's make the good choice.